to our witnesses.
Quite welcome. I now recognize the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Higgins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thank our panelists for being here today. Mr. Stanley, having been on the other side during the course of my life, many interactions with the ACLU, I look forward to us agreeing to something today. It would be a first in history. So I say that lightheartedly because we are a free nation, and generally speaking, the purpose of this committee is to maintain the security of our homeland, but the security of our homeland is to be maintained without sacrificing individual rights and freedoms of our citizenry, or else what's the purpose of the security of the homeland? So this hearing touches on a subject matter that is reflective of that need for balance. In my state of Louisiana, we were one of the first to push through our state legislature digital identification that was official through the state, recognized by the state. So, as a cop, if I interact with you and I ask for your ID, for your driver's license, you can show me your phone. And there's an official app on the phone that's recognized by the state that I can look at your documentation there. So retail stores and state government offices and police officers, recognize this digital ID, but TSA does not. So a common question that, a conservative Republican like me, we hear back home is why we have 9-10 million illegals coming across the border and I can't use my digital ID to get on an airplane. But these guys get tickets from Department of Homeland Security, and we pay to send them wherever they want to go in the country. And that's sort of a generalization of what's happening, but it's very accurate. It's pretty much true. So, Mr. Grossman and Mr. Grant, could you speak to what are the benefits of the expansion of official digital IDs as it relates to both enhanced security and protected individual rights and freedoms, which is a part, Mr. Stanley, I'm going to hope we can agree on. Mr. Grossman and Mr. Grant.
Well, it's a great question. I'll say with regard first to Louisiana's mobile driver's license. Louisiana's definitely been an innovator here. It was one of the first states out of the gate. And I will say with the draft regulations that TSA's put forward on MDLs, if the Louisiana ID or any other state ID that's gone forward on the mobile driver's license side meets those rules, they would be able to use that to board a plane. That's my understanding, at least, although I'll let TSA tell you that authoritatively. I think the balance between security and privacy is an important one. And where, as somebody who's I've generally been a privacy advocate.
Between security and freedoms.
Freedoms, yes.
Yes, sir.
I think we can give people more privacy than they have today by architecting these solutions the right way. In that, for example, if I hand my ID over at a bar, you can read everything about me when what you only need to know is that I'm over 21. I don't get that question a lot these days, but there was a time when it mattered. Digitally, I can just share one attribute about me. Same with trying to do something online. Everything that's on my driver's license might not be needed to be shared with the bank or with the fintech app that I'm trying to apply for an account with, but they can get those validated details about me that they need directly from the authoritative source, rather than relying on some other solutions that are looking at other sources to try and guess if it's you or not. So I do think that, again, with the proper design, and this is why we're really calling for sort of a whole.
So if the digital designs in interest of time would comply with, say, Real ID, then you would see a path forward for not just for Louisiana, but every sovereign state to be able to allow the citizenry the option of using a hard ID versus a digital ID?
That's underway already.
Yes, sir. Mr. Grossman, you concur?
Yeah, I would concur, and I would add the reason why states are going down the road of mobile driver's licenses as fascinating and exciting as new technology is, the core driving purpose is where does this technology allow us to improve on safety, security, freedom from the physical world. And
Right.
so through all these testimonies, through the privacy, through the security, through getting it right, it all has to be with that driving purpose of making it better than the status quo of the physical world.
So, Mr. Chairman, my time has expired, but I would ask the indulgence of the chair to allow Mr. Stanley to agree or disagree. It'd be a historical moment.
Yeah, let's go right ahead, Mr. Stanley. Let's make some history here.
I thoroughly agree with you that it is
That's it, I'm out.
that it is vital to keep an eye on freedom, even as we look at what a digital ID can.
Thank you, Mr. Stanley, and I appreciate the indulgence, Mr. Chair.
All right, we have some time for a second round, and so I'll start with myself. Mr. Grossman, we're talking a lot about the digital world and all, and digital IDs, but digital IDs are going to be based on a standard, just like a hard copy ID right now is. And so, while states may be offering digital IDs, there's no guarantee that they will be real ID. They may not be real ID. So that is not going to be as secure as